And we are back, and we just finished watching 1987's Wicked City. It's not rated, but I would say it's adult.
Yeah, like NC-17 at the least.
At the least, right?
Sir.
Or just R, because there's also violence and.
No, it'd be NC-17.
NC-17.
I mean, that lady was getting triple teamed. So
yeah. Okay. NC-17 with a runtime of 1 hour and 22 minutes. This is from director Yoshiaki Kawajiri with writing credits to. It's from a novel by Hideyuki Kikuchi and screenplay credits to Yoshiaki Kawajiri and Norio Osada. Oh my God. I'm sorry if I've butchered your names.
Were they all in high school when they wrote this?
I don't know. Well, they were obviously, it's 87, so this is like 40 years ago. So, oh my God, this movie's almost 40 years.
This felt like something that was written by, like me and my friends probably could have wrote this in high school because we would have written as well-rounded female characters as were present in this. Yeah, this was awful.
So this movie is almost 40 years old, and it shows.
Yeah, it's got that that anime style from back then.
Right.
It's clearly hand drawn. There's no computers involved at all. That didn't exist. This was especially rough. Especially in the beginning, there was a lot of scenes where it was just sort of like, I'm going to walk from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen and profile. So it almost looked like it was like test footage of a walk animation.
Yeah.
And you got Joe Macho.
Yeah.
What was his name? Maki or something? Or
Renzaburo
Taki. So you got Macho Man there who has a gun that's apparently so powerful that when he shoots it, he ends up flying backwards.
Yeah.
Crazy demon monsters that are like right out of The Thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're clearly were influenced by The Thing, especially in that first scene where his partner shows up and her apparently only moment of competency when she kills them. She kills the demons and saves him.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing this.
Well, I remember we tried watching it years ago, like
when we were first married. Was this something we rented from Blockbuster or something?
When we were first married, we lived in Bay Ridge,
and we went to the Blockbuster like every Saturday night.
Yeah, and I don't know if either of us stayed awake through the whole thing because I don't remember that ending.
I don't remember that ending, but I remembered that they hooked up.
I remember that. Well, that's obvious that they're gonna hook up, but the only thing I remembered was the spider lady. That was it.
Who makes an appearance very early in the film.
Makes an appearance very early. You learn something about censorship because apparently you cannot show genitals unless they have fangs or they're like snake-like appendages.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to be monster genitals.
Although, when the gangbang happens...
Well, they weren't showing it. That was like Skinamax type stuff. You know what's going on, but they're not showing any genitals or penetration or anything.
What are you talking about? When they're forcing her to give oral?
Are you talking about that? We have to clarify here because there was so many.
There's so many instances where
there was the one scene where like the parasite came out of the little pervert. And then it turned into a giant monster, and then that thing forced its...
No. I'm talking about, what's her name, Maki? When they, I guess, steal her. And
they steal her, and
Taki's going to come and save her.
Yeah.
And he sees in the state that she's in.
Yeah.
And she's being attacked by two or three other demons.
Like faceless guys, demons and wearing suits for some reason.
They're very stylish.
Yeah. But no, they never show any sort of...
No, they showed...
No.
No, yes,
no,
they did.
You're confusing it. You are confusing it.
You're wrong. You must have slept through that part.
No.
You must have slept through.
They
absolutely
showed. They show that when it's that parasite tentacle going into her mouth.
No.
No.
In the sequence when he comes to save her, there's a scene like this.
It's obscured by the guy's hip. You don't see.
But it's implied that that's
no, but that's
part of his.
What I'm saying, they don't show actual. I can't believe we're talking about this.
Okay.
What?
Well, this is not okay.
Yeah, this was not watched with the children.
This was not watched with children.
Yeah, we did not watch this.
Did not watch this with the children, but I think we remember that it was kind of.
I gotta be honest. We were just looking for something to pair with From Up on Poppy Hill.
Which is completely different.
But we want, yeah, but obviously because it's just the two of us, we wanted something a bit more maybe actiony or edgier.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that popped up. I don't remember it being like that graphic. I mean, I think I've seen when I was younger, seeing like worse stuff.
Right. Same.
Like I saw Legend of the Overfiend, and that was just
right. That's ridiculous.
That's just yes. People who've made that should be in prison. But this I don't, because I didn't remember these types of scenes really.
Right.
And
I vaguely remembered the little imp guy.
Yeah.
I vaguely remembered him. I remembered her because she's on the poster, and I remembered him because he's on the poster.
Yeah. And now I remember there was the spider lady, but I don't remember that scene being as intense as it was. Mm-hmm. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it was because we got it from Blockbuster, and I'm pretty sure Blockbuster would
censor some of that out.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember it being
They would have
hardcore.
like special editions where they would mute out a lot of that, or it would be obscured with some sort of weird black
or like
shading
faded,
on it.
Yeah, faded kind of.
So maybe that's what it was, because we saw this. Yeah. We saw this on Amazon Prime. Yeah, you're getting the whole deal. Yeah. So everything. Hey, if that's your bag, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so this, thank you for mentioning this. So this is on Freeview, which is owned by Prime, Plex, Pluto TV, and Prime Video. Also Tubi, and also to buy rent on Prime. But yeah, I don't remember it being this hardcore. You know what I was thinking? Because this is around the same time, because I think late 80s is when Vampire Hunter D came out. And I really like that film, although I don't remember much about it. I feel like I'd need to revisit it.
I think this was around the time when there was sort of like this influx of anime like Akira and Ninja Scroll
and all that. Yeah.
All of that, Vampire Hunter D. And this came along with it, but this didn't have the same impact.
No, nobody talks about
Wicked City.
Yeah,
and I could see why, because even I'm sure a lot of these films were just watched because it was just like movies.
Yes, exactly.
They knew their target audience, but even still, the story was.
It was terrible.
The story was terrible.
Yeah,
it was kind of derivative of a lot of other stories. There's always some sort of the demon world and the human world.
And
there were a lot of movies where there was a demon world and a human world.
Right. And this just didn't do it well enough.
And the artwork was very stiff, mechanical artwork.
Yeah. There was nothing dynamic about it.
It had like, your gory bits.
Mm-hmm. It had very salacious stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, very salacious stuff, but it was never animated in some sort of like crazy way. Like the anime you get now, even the stuff that's like not computer generated, when they take their time, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's epilepsy inducing.
Yeah.
But the battles look cool. This is just, the guy jumps 60 feet in the air and very fires a gun, and then somebody's head explodes.
Right. But this is obviously like the precursor for a lot of other stuff. Like this is the stuff that influenced like the young men or the young women that were watching this then became the storytellers of later stories, right?
Yeah.
So this
things have definitely become a lot more polished.
Yes,
since Wicked City.
Yeah. But like you said, I mean, there's an art form to this because it is hand drawn. This is not nobody's cutting corners here. This is 1987. We didn't really have the technology. I mean, if you're Disney, you have the Disney money, but even that stuff, like, well, I don't remember, but it came out in 80 something, right? Black Cauldron, or maybe it was like late 70s, whatever, like something like that. Also, even though it's backed by this big studio, still looks dated when you watch it now.
Yeah.
And we just saw Akira, which I still kind of feel like I'm in the fence about, but that's such a seminal movie in the whole anime like history.
Yeah, that's extremely. I would say that film
influenced.
It's more.
So much.
It's more important for the way it influenced.
Right.
Not just anime, but that whole genre, that cyberpunk genre.
Yeah.
Because as the story goes, it's also not a very good story.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's why I feel like I want to find Vampire Hunter D now, because it's like I remember really liking that film.
You know what? I don't.
Although
I think I have the DVD of it, but I don't remember. I don't remember it at all.
I don't remember much about it, but it's funny because I think the thing that feeds my hesitation is I think the pacing is going to kill me, because that, if I remember right, that's kind of a slow film. It's a slow burn. I just looked at IMDb and it says it's an hour and 43 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. I seriously don't remember anything about Vampire Hunter D. But yeah, I also wonder if it would hold up, because honestly, you were willing to accept a lot just because it was like these types of cartoons aren't what we're used to seeing.
No.
I mean, we'd get it occasionally, like Voltron and Battle of the Planets.
That's so sanitized too. You know what I mean?
It's sanitized, but it was like that cool style, and it was, you know, streaks of light and people dodging stuff. It was like, you know, it was like a kung fu movie but drawn.
Right.
So when we actually did get to see it, like an actual anime movie, it was a treat.
It was a big deal, yeah. And again,
plus the violence was just ridiculous.
Yeah, and plus like that influences so much other stuff. So I mean, I feel like there's not really much else to say. Do you want to just give numbers? And the story's kind of weak, right?
It's a story that, like I said, was I feel like I've encountered it in a lot of other
better anime.
Old animes. There's always like the demon world and the human world, and this is probably one of the least interesting versions of that story.
Yeah.
The main character is like a walking cliche.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true of a lot of older animes. There's always like there
isn't much character development.
Not much character development. It's like they saw an old, I don't know, noir movie, and it's just like, all right, this guy, he's too cool. The ladies love him, and he likes smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
and that's what you get here.
Gun. I mean, I think when I was watching the film, that was like I was like, that gun's kind of cool. But other than that, I was just like,
the gun was. It's just like, it's like, look how long my gun is. You know, it's everything is just a metaphor for how virile this dude is.
Yeah.
He's like making bets with the bartender about hooking up with
ladies. Spider
Lady.
Yeah.
And then the female character, you think, oh, cool, you know, cool fighting lady, and she wastes those two demons in the beginning.
And then all of a sudden.
But then suddenly she's just getting basically sexually assaulted for the remainder of the film by several different characters who all apparently knew her.
Yeah.
And
were punishing her because she was helping humans?
And apparently punishing her is just
sexually assaulting
her. But of course she always looks like she's totally into it after the initial oh no, and then suddenly it's just all moans and whatnot.
The gist of the story is that I guess there's a Messiah coming that's going to be what?
That was just something that happened at the end.
I thought that was the whole
point
of the story.
No, the whole point of the story was we have to protect the little pervert because he's going to broker the deal that keeps peace between the human world and the demon world.
But and then he decided to matchmake them? Is that what happened?
For some reason, he's like, and the way we're going to do that, this is the thing at the end. I don't care if I'm spoiling this movie. It's awful. Don't watch it. He's just like, the way I'm going to broker the pieces, I get a human and a demon to basically mate and have a child, which is apparently impossible unless they really love each other.
Right, and for some reason,
they just met like the day before, and apparently
literally the day before.
Yeah,
literally,
and somehow, I don't know, they sleep together, and that's it.
That's it. It's a love for the ages.
And she's pregnant instantly.
Yes, instantly.
Although
he's like that guy in that Grindhouse movie.
He never misses. But it's like she's pretty much been having sex throughout the entire movie.
So this baby could be anybody's.
Seriously, it's really up for grabs. Who's
the dad?
Who's the dad?
Yeah, I thought the same thing when we were watching it. I'm like, this kind of could maybe be just a demon baby.
Yeah. Seriously, the amount of times that she's having sex, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this takes place roughly in like a 24-hour period.
Yes.
So
yeah, the artwork is kind of very rudimentary. The script is like ridiculous, and I think this was written by 8th grade boys to just show boobies. Yeah,
I'm guessing that a lot of young teenage boys were just cranking it hard to this movie.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of cringy to watch now because it's like, I mean, and not that like I'm a prude or anything, but like make it interesting. I mean, there's a reason why people watch Game of Thrones. Yes, there was a lot of nudity, but there was
not
actually
TV, it's HBO.
Exactly, but there was a lot of interesting story there too. So if you're gonna go that route, make it interesting. Otherwise, you're just making a porn, right?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. This
softcore porn.
This is that. Yeah, that's probably a good description of this.
Maybe it's a little bit more than that because it's. I mean, I feel like now you'd have to put a trigger warning on this for like anyone that's ever been assaulted. Like there are images.
Oh God, yeah. You couldn't make a movie like this anymore. This.
I mean, you could, but
you could, but it wouldn't. You wouldn't be seeing it listed on Amazon Prime as prevalently as this one was because we scroll through and
there it is.
There it is. It's always there.
Yeah, and I was like, and it's funny because like I think it turned to you because I was like, okay, well, this is a very strange double feature because up from Poppy Hill. Up on Poppy Hill to Wicked City is a very big stretch. Yeah. I mean, it's animation.
Yeah, what was the director of this? Whoever it was, there's no studio this guy.
Yes. Yoshiaki Kawajiri.
Yeah, there's no studio Kawajiri.
Yeah, behind this film. There wasn't like a plethora of.
Yeah, I doubt his follow was advertised as from the beloved Yoshiaki Kawajiri.
Oh, I'm looking at his IMDb. He definitely does a lot of animated stuff.
Hopefully they got better scripts. This was awful.
So
anyway, let's wrap this up.
1 to 10. What are you gonna give this?
I'd give this a 3.
Wow, I was gonna say a 4. Like you said, we were scrolling through Prime. We saw it. I was like, I had vague memories of it. I couldn't remember much about it. And on second watch, it wasn't any better, I guess. I can't imagine that we liked this the first time around.
I'm pretty sure we never made it through the whole movie.
Yeah,
because I don't. That ending did not spark any memory in me at all.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is the spider lady, like the first encounter with the spider lady. When she died, in the second encounter with her, I was like, oh, I guess she's not really that big a character after all.
Right. Yeah. And neither was the heavy. He's kind of taken out pretty.
He just appeared. It was like were we supposed to know who he was?
I don't know. I mean, originally she's attacked by that other guy when the guy comes to the hotel to get little
whatever
dirty
his name
Yoda.
Is, You pervert Yoda.
And then like doesn't he sort of like molest her?
Yes, he's flat out sexually assaulting her until he gets a hole blown through him by the hero.
Yeah. By Taki, right? She's Maki and he's Taki.
Maki and Taki. I don't think that was their actual names, but close enough. Yeah, and she knew him.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you remember the good old days? Oh, those days are over.
Yeah.
But
we have to broker peace with the humans.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll rub your boobs a little and suddenly you're just totally into it.
Yeah. And then just naked.
Yeah. Her clothes were
evaporating.
They would evaporate.
Yeah, and she was wearing like a suit and a shirt and a tie.
Yeah.
I'm like, she was dressed up. What happened to her clothes? I mean, I know that I'm going to out myself and say I dozed off here and there during this 1 hour. So that's how bad this was. It's only an hour and 22 minutes, and I dozed off. So
yeah, I remember we had to rewind the second scene
Several
with Spider
times.
Lady
Yeah.
because we just completely. I thought I missed an important aspect, but apparently I didn't. I just closed my eyes for a second.
it was just poorly
It just
written.
didn't. It just didn't make any sense, and it was poorly written. And
Yeah.
so
All right.
4, 3.
Skip.
Do not go watch
Do not
Wicked
watch
City.
Wicked
It is
City.
a horrible, horrible anime.
Horrible movie. Yeah. And if you think that you liked it as a young person, you're absolutely wrong.
Yes. If you and God help us all if you still like it,
Yes.
because
there's something wrong
that
with
means
you.
there's something wrong. You need therapy. You need
Fix
some sort of
Fix yourself.
You need some medication to calm that down.
Yes. Yes. There's nothing good about this film.
Yeah.
I mean, other than it provided jobs.
Yeah. I guess.
All right. So that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
Good night.
good night.